Welcome to YouTube Space. We're looking ahead to the big fight a week tomorrow. We've got Chris Sr. with us before we hear from the boxers themselves. You wanted to react to what you've seen already, don't you?
I mean, look, where can you go on the entire planet and see that type of speed, intensity, drive? I mean, okay, so if you talk about Floyd Mayweather Jr., when have you ever seen that? We watch the pads, hold this. He does like this. When have you ever seen speed like that? And speed kills. You cannot negotiate with it. You know, I lost a fight against Joe Kawasaki. I had proven myself. He beat me probably 11 of 12 rounds. Why? Because for every one punch I threw, he threw 4. You know, this young man in junior is throwing like 5 to my 1. Golovkin, probably 4 to his 1.
So speed's everything, is it?
It's everything. You can't negotiate with it.
But hang on, we're going to, well, question to the end. Hang on. Speed is everything.
Speed, you cannot negotiate with it.
Is that why you described your son? Junior will be the most exciting fighter on the planet to look at. He's the new money, Floyd Mayweather. Everything he does is extraordinary. So you mentioned the speed. What else makes him extraordinary?
The fact that he has been brought up by a very peculiar man in me. I've been real. You know, the way you see me today, I haven't been in any way different since 1990. I've always been the way I've always appeared to be the way I look. And in the ring, I've been and I've achieved what I have. And he's come up under that tutelage. Now, you know, he doesn't smile and play and dance like me. He is more like his mother in that he is to the point. He wants to get the job done. And that job is to electrocute, eviscerate, take apart. And that, I believe, is what will be seen on the 4th of February when he makes history, which is to follow the father into world championship status. I've seen nothing like him. And it's not that I'm a doting father here. Okay, I am obsessed with this craft and this art. And his process, I haven't seen anywhere else. So people say to me, what do you get butterflies? Do you worry about your son? And I say no. And the truth is, I worry for his opponents. And I've been trying to look after them by talking to referees before the fights. They're not listening. At this level now, at World Championship level, there are no prisoners. I cannot look after anyone else. It's the referee's job. So my talk, if you think it's cheap, at least it's interesting.
That's for sure it is. So just remind everybody why we're here. A week tomorrow, Chris Eubank Jr. against Quinlan for the IBO Super Middleweight title. And it's live on ITV Box Office, itvboxoffice.co.uk. Some people would find having you as a father very intimidating. At what age did you realise he wouldn't be intimidated by who you were?
Who, Junior?
Yeah. Because they would, wouldn't they? Some would find it really intimidating to have you as a father.
I don't know how to answer that one. You know, if he is intimidated by me, which he obviously no longer is because, you know, he directs me. I see him as very much a wild one. Someone who I'm having to steer by device. I cannot say do this anymore. I have to actually tell him to do it this way, and it usually happens just a little way different towards what I want. But there's no controlling him. He is a power, he is a spirit unto his own, which, you know, my talk as a dad, people are going to say, oh, he's doting, oh, he's talking of his son. But you will see in the conversations you will have with him directly. He's his own person. He has his own interest. He has his own, what's the word, personality traits. You know, I'm just saying, from my viewpoint, having won the World Championship, having defended it 18 times, we don't play. Having done that, I'm saying to you that of what I see when it comes to this craft and this art and this process, of being able to absorb punishment, having the ability to disseminate or deliver it, I've seen nothing like it. I am impressed. I'm a fan. I would pay for this.
Are there still areas you think that he should and needs to work on? I'm not saying in front of his opponent that you're going to tell us what they are, but do you say to him, I've seen you in sparring, I've seen you in bouts, I think this, A, B and C. Just little tinkerings maybe.
Okay, now this is going to be unusual for you to hear. See, truth is a wonderful thing. It levels everything. And this is the code of which I've always used. So in front of Reynold Quinlan, I'll say, Junior, sometimes he carries his hands low. So you may be able to strike him with shots. So I'm always saying to him, you have to keep your hands high. If you catch him and you are able to do something that we don't believe you can, then so be it. This is the best way I can tell him, keep your hands up. He's maverick because he knows you can take a shot. He's maverick, he doesn't care. I care. Floyd Mayweather Jr. said not too long ago, one of the first lessons my father taught me is the less punishment you take, the longer your career lasts. So I want to put that into his head and yours. Keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. We are not playing. It's a game, it's a sport to the spectators. To you guys, it's a way of life. And everything you... It's not even about what happens on the night approaching Saturday the 4th of February. It's about what you did yesterday, last week, last month, last year, and the years you've been in boxing. If you've been living the life, then you will acquit yourself well, win or lose, and so shall he. You know, do I pick sides? Of course I'm on my son's side, but I'm fair, I'm a fighter, and so if you can dig deep, if you can find the resolve, the fortitude to deal with the substance that this young man has, then not only do you deserve to keep your world championship, but you will go on to defend it many times, I'm sure. And that's why the game of boxing is so sexy. It's such a wonderful game because it's real. You know, the most important thing to any man is protection, being able to fight, being able to stand tall. You know, you being champion of the world now, for instance, you are, in many ways, the prime minister of all tough men. Everybody respects a champion. Okay, so your conduct has to be becoming. He intends or wants to take that position. So it is not sport to you guys, it is sport to the spectators. And that's why on the night of this particular fight in question, it's going to be history in the making, and dare I say, a little bit of history repeating.
How much do you admire this young man coming from the other side of the world, coming here to defend his title?
I admire all champions because I know what it takes to get there. You know, the public only, they think about their lives, they think about their jobs and what they have to do. What the fighter's life is staying in the gym, running at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, not because there's someone to account to, but because it's the right thing to do. Being in the gym, taking beatings. You know, I've got 19 world championship wins. For every one of those wins, I would have had to have taken at least 50 beatings to get that one win. That's the way it works. You know, if you're comfortable in boxing, if you're managing everything comfortably, you don't get anywhere. But if you're under pressure, no different to chess. If you're playing chess with a substandard player, your game goes down. If you keep on getting beat, your game rises. See, this is what you are dealing with, young man. We're real. We come across as normal, so I'm talking as though I'm a standard member of the community. I am not. We are crazy. We are truly crazy. We are deluded. You can't make champion of the world if you're not deluded, as you would well know, because you are the champion.
So ITV box office a week tomorrow, Chris Eubank Jr. against Reynold Quinlan from Australia. We're going to have Andre Ward and Lennox Lewis with us ringside as well. So current world champion and a former world champion. www.itvboxoffice.co.uk. And on the undercard as well, David Price, who was with us last week in Preston. Kid Galahad back in the ring as well, and Adam Etches. So plenty to look forward to on the undercard to Chris Eubank Jr. against Reynold Quinlan here. Can you say in your prime and Chris's prime, who would have won?
Okay, so Ronald, listen to this. Who would have won between me and my son? So this is what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Who would have won? See, I say he would have beaten me so long as he listens to strategy. Anyone can be beaten, you just have to use the right strategy. If he listens to strategy, he would have beaten me in my career. If he listens. If he doesn't listen, you know, your talent, your ability, your skill, your speed, well, with the exception of speed, it doesn't really matter. If he follows strategy, there's nothing he can't do.
We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because it's disrespectful for Ranald, obviously, and it's dangerous. My question, though, is what do you see Chris Jr. being, a super middleweight or a middleweight going forward?
Okay, so again, listen to this crazy here. Andre Ward is coming over to commentate. We're chasing him too. He's light heavyweight. Junior can, in my view, Junior can give away 6-7 pounds to him and still wreck him. That's Andre Ward.
Yep.
So he's coming here to commentate, and we are chasing him as well. At super middleweight, we're looking to clean. We're looking to clean the slate. At middleweight, we're looking to clean. In fact, at middleweight, we're only looking for this one guy in Golovkin.
Yeah, because that's who you've talked about a lot, isn't it, Golovkin? So you're saying you'd actually go across the 3 weights if necessary?
He's capable of that at this point. Okay, in 18 months, that may not be the case, but he's capable of doing that now, in my view, so long as not too many people speak. Sometimes you put something in the mind of somebody, and then then they are limited or they are able to go further. So long as he is right now, he can do that. Yeah.
Just a couple more. It's a natural fit for you.
Can I just make this point, because I have to qualify the Andre Ward comment, because this is the world champion of considerable height. The reason I say this is because when he fought Kovalev, in the 3rd round, I counted his average. He threw 35 punches in the 3rd round. That means he can't live with Junior, in my view. Cannot live with him. Again, I don't understand business. It's not my thing. I don't understand the cosmos. It's not my thing. I don't work in an office. You know, what I have studied for all of these years is the craft, what happens inside that ring. Inside that ring, what I'm saying may sound odd to you, the public, because it's not what you do. I'm saying to you, if a man like him is going to throw 35 punches in a round, can't live with Junior, because he's throwing minimum 3 times as much. And I'm saying to you, speed, again, you cannot negotiate with speed. You can negotiate with power. You can negotiate with clever tactics, movement. You can negotiate with all of those things. Speed, you can't. You know, if you're throwing 1 to someone else's 4, there's no negotiation. It's annihilation is what you see. So, you know, watch. I'm very excited.
Well, my final question then for you and for the Eubank family, it's a natural fit, isn't it, being on ITV? It's where you had your great moments, and now your son's going to be on ITV.
You know, it's a very queer thing. You know, is this by device, or, I mean, could I be this clever? I'm told I have an IQ of 190. Always a pleasure. Could it be by device that he had 26 fights as an amateur? I had 26 fights as an amateur. In his first World Championship fight, it's going to be his 25th fight. In my 25th fight, I beat Ben for the World Middleweight Championship. Could it be by device? Could I be that clever? Could that 190 really be at play? Hey, it's going to be interesting.
We'll see. We'll look forward to it. Thank you very much indeed.
The lady's name is Shirley Bassey. A little bit of history repeating.
Yeah. ITV, boxoffice.co.uk, a week tomorrow. Chris Eubank Jr. and Reynold Quinlan. We'll speak to them in a couple of moments. Chris Sr., thank you very much indeed.
Well, isn't it?
Thank you.
Put the music on.
It is the most important fight of my career. The training speaks for itself. I'm preparing for war.
He's the most exciting fighter in the world, and we're back home on ITV. Well, your old man had a lot to say, so did mine. Now we get to see if you can talk just as good as him.
So we've got the two boxers here. A week tomorrow is the fight. Go to www.itvboxoffice.co.uk to register. So go there now and register for the fight a week tomorrow. We've got David Price on the undercard as well, Adam Etches and Kid Galahad. But the main event, Chris Eubank Jr. and Reynold Quinlan. Reynold, welcome to the UK. Sorry about the weather. So what was the temperature when you left Sydney?
It was 38.
38, OK. 38 degrees
Cold,
centigrade.
yeah.
Yes.
Really cold.
OK, just to make that clear. Yeah. And congratulations, you had a baby boy last week.
Last week, last Friday. So a week.
And what's the little fella's name?
Quaid.
Quaid. OK, so you saw him for, what, a day, and then you jumped on a plane?
2 days.
2 days,
Yeah.
OK.
Blessed to see him.
Yeah. Was that hard to leave him?
No. Wasn't that hard.
Well, you got some sleep on the plane anyway.
Yeah.
OK, tell us why you've decided to take this fight.
It's a challenge. I love challenges. And I challenged myself to come over, defend my title against Chris Eubank, but fight night, you'll see.
What are we going to see?
War. And I am walking away with my belt's not staying here. So.
Well, what I saw when we were taking pictures is that you gave your belt to me and let me touch it. In my mind, you've lost the fight already. If it was my belt, you would never touch it. I don't care what the camera.
I'll give you a feel of it.
Yeah, well, still, that's a
It's
symbol.
Gonna be the last time you're
that's a symbol of your achievement. You should let
It'll be
me
the last
touch
time you touch it. So.
Well, we'll find out.
Why do you think he shouldn't let you touch it? What's it a sign of in your view?
This is a world title belt that he worked so hard to get. You don't let your opponent touch it because the cameraman says, "Can you guys take a picture with it?" Say, "No, this is my belt. This is my belt." That's in my opinion. He pushed the belt towards me too quickly. He did what he was told. If it's my belt, it's staying with me the whole time.
What did you think of his win over Daniel Gill?
He knocked him out, so it was a good win. Daniel Gill is a former world champion. So full respect to that. And, I do respect the fact that this man's come over here from Australia. He's come over to a foreign territory, doesn't know anybody, he hasn't got any fans over here. And he's challenging, one of the most exciting fighters in the world. He didn't have to do that. He could have taken easier routes, he could have stayed in his part of the world and took easier fights. So in that respect, I have respect for him, but that's where the respect starts and finishes. On the night, as they say in the military, I'm going to proceed with extreme prejudice. And that belt is, well, enjoy it for the next 8 days, because after that, it's coming back to England.
Did you take the fight as well because you want to make your name better known across the world? You're big news down under, but did you take the fight as well because this is an opportunity for the rest of the boxing world to hear about you?
It is opportunity, but like I said, it's a challenge for me. I challenge myself.
It's not just a challenge.
So
you're running up a mountain with this one, man.
The mountain is easy for me to run up. I'll sprint up it.
Okay.
Fight night, you're going to see. That's all I can say.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little about your background, Reynold.
My background, my dad's Aboriginal, my mum's Fijian. I grew up, never had my father, mother raise me. I grew up hard, but that's the past. I don't dwell on the past. I changed my lifestyle around with my boxing career for my family, and I took it on a whole nother level. Growing up back home, get caught up in the wrong crew, and like I said, the boxing is what disciplined me and changed my life. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, you hear that story a bit, but you're saying that in your case, that's the classic true story of what boxing did for your life.
That is a classic true story, and I guess a lot of great boxers have got a story behind them, past and growing up. So I think Christine would know that, and a lot of people would know that too.
And your Aboriginal roots are very important to you, aren't they?
Yes, they are. My Aboriginal roots are very important to me.
What do they bring to your life particularly? Is it a way that you like to lead your life by?
Well, it's something different about my Aboriginal roots. The past is the past, but I love the culture, my culture on both sides, on my mum's side Fijian and on my dad's side. So to me, they're both equal. They're both the same.
And when you have a look at the bookmakers, and they have Chris at sort of, some of them have them at 250 to 1 on to win. I mean, in other words, as far as the bookmakers are concerned, it is no contest. Do you find that a bit insulting?
I don't take notice of it. It's if they want to lose their money, go ahead. Bet. Put the odds on me. What am I paying? I don't know what I'm paying. So.
Is that about right in your point of view? Are you that odds on that it's not worth having a bet?
I'm not a betting man. I don't gamble. I believe in working hard and earning your keep, not hoping something happens and throwing money on it. But this is I've been working for this my entire life, my entire career, to get to this stage, to fight for a world title, and to do it on ITV. It's a privilege. It's a huge opportunity. The reach that you guys have is unparalleled. So, I believe it's going to be a hell of a fight.
And to follow in Dad's footsteps. I mean, that must mean, obviously we talked to him a lot about his role in your life and your career, but to follow in his footsteps, how much would that mean?
To follow in his footsteps, to follow in all the greats. This is what a fighter wants to achieve in his career. To be able to say, yeah, I did it. To have a legacy, to have kids coming up and looking up and saying, I want to be like that guy. And this is the ticket. This is the ticket. Having that belt puts me in a position to then go and clean up these divisions, middleweight, super middleweight. There's a lot of great fights to be had out there. And just because I'm fighting for the super middleweight title doesn't mean that I'm forever going to be restricted to the super middleweight division, because obviously there are super fights there to be made in the middleweight division.
Is Golovkin the one that you really want? You've talked about that before.
I don't know how many more times I got to say it. I know I can beat the guy. I know I can beat him. Great power. That's what that man brings to the table. But I've sparred with heavyweights. I've taken beatings throughout my entire career from massive guys who Golovkin could never punch harder than. So the fact that he can punch doesn't affect me. It doesn't scare me. And once you look past that, what could he beat me with? He's not faster than me. His defense isn't better than mine. This is a man who openly says he likes getting hit. He likes, he's not hard to hit. In my opinion, boxing is about being hit and not getting hit. That's my philosophy. He obviously doesn't share that. So a huge fight to be made in the future. And obviously we've got my old arch nemesis, Billy Joe Saunders at middleweight. That's another fight that I want and will not stop until I get.
Is that an itch that you can't help scratching?
That's exactly what it is. It's a right, it's a wrong that I have to get right. And it's always hard when, especially when you have a loss and you don't feel like you really lost the fight. You know that you're the better fighter. So that's a fight that has to be made at middleweight at some point. And now that we've got this platform here in ITV, there's no reason why these fights can't be made this year.
www.itvboxoffice.co.uk. Go there now and register for the fight a week tomorrow. So what are you going to bring to the ring then in Olympia? What's your style? What are people going to see?
Fireworks. You're going to see fireworks. And I guess everyone just get there and be there early and see for themselves. I don't talk myself up, but I let my fist do the talking. Me and Eubank's two different people. So Feb 4th, be there. Watch, register.
So you're going to take a step back. You meet fire with fire. You're on the front foot.
If you want to play with fire, you can play with fire. So I think that's what it'll be.
But you do know that it's going to take more than just fireworks and sparklers to beat me, right?
Maybe I'll chuck petrol on it, so that makes it even bigger. You never know what can happen, man.
You need an army. You're going to need your whole Aboriginal tribe to come over here to beat me.
But that's how you beat Daniel Gill, didn't you? I mean, you beat him in the second round. It was so
a lot of people told me against Gill, shouldn't take the fight. When you're mentally focused and ready, and you got to believe in yourself, nothing will stop you. No one. Coming into 12 fights, professional fights, I don't think Eubank would have. I don't think his dad would have took the fight if he was only had his 12 professional fight. He's been in his dad's shadow for his whole career, living off his dad's name. He has to be himself. It's either he's better than his father, or he's not better than his father. I think his dad was the best back in the day. I think he'd be better than him. Whether he says that his son's better than him, I don't think so. Fight night comes, you'll see, and Chris will see too.
See, I hear that comment a lot.
I'm sure you do, yeah.
Living off your father's name, you're only boxing because your father used to box, and it amazes me when people say that, because it's like, as what's the line in that movie? You got the movie there's Snatch. It doesn't matter if your name is Muhammad, Ahmad, Bruce Lee. It doesn't matter what your name is. If you can't fight, you can't fight. You can't do the things that I've done in my career. A name can only get you so far. Eventually, if you don't have the spice, if you don't have the sauce, you're going to get found out.
But when you hear people say it, whether it's an opponent or whether it's a punter or a journalist or the media or whatever, do you think I'm going to show them that I am equally as good as him, if not better?
I'm not. My mission isn't to worry about what my father did and to always compare myself to him. My goal is to be the best fighter I can be, to build my own legacy, be my own man, and to win my own world titles. The comparing and his father did that, and I leave that to fans and to people like him who believe that I'm only in the game because of my father. For me, this world title that I'm going to win in 8 days, that's the start of a long and fruitful journey. I'm going to be in the game for at least another 10 years, and my goal is to take all the titles, to take all the belts in the middleweight and the super middleweight division. And here we begin on February 4th.
How big a fight is this in Australia? Because you're a big name there, but you want to be a bigger name.
This is a big fight for my career and probably for back home. But yeah, it is what it is. To come all the way in for Chris, he's got a big name in the UK and around the world. But Feb 4th, just can't wait.
Yeah, because you mentioned his dad. So growing up, you would have known the stories of Chris and Nigel Benn and the middleweight and super middleweight division of those days.
Yeah, watched a bit of them. It's a good laugh. But yeah.
Like a good laugh? What do you mean by that?
Like it's a good laugh. Like just the way they are to each other.
There was nothing funny about their rivalries.
Well,
that was
to me it was.
some of the most vicious fights in boxing history. If you find that funny, then you're not really a true fighter.
To me, like I said, we're both different. We're both different.
Well, if you find that type of thing funny, then you're gonna find February 4th hilarious, because you're gonna get exactly the same.
It's gonna be hilarious. A lot of people laugh now, but
It's gonna be hilarious for you. 'Cause you're gonna
Have you
get
got a
exactly
game
the
plan?
I don't have
I mean,
game plan.
Chris told us what Chris Jr.'s
I adapt to what's in front of me.
weakness might be. You know, keeps his hands a bit low. Have you got a game plan?
No, not really. I don't have a game plan. I just adapt to what's in front of me.
Okay.
Natural talent.
So you've flown all the way over here from Australia with no plan at all. You're just going to get in there and wing it? Is that what you're telling everybody?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling everyone.
Wow, you're in some serious trouble, my friend. Really.
I tell you what, we've got a couple of minutes left. Why don't you get the belt? So everybody's watching this on YouTube can see you with the belt and can see what it is that Chris wants to take off you. You going to let him touch it this time?
I'll let him touch it.
Hey, there you go,
last time
Chris.
I touched
I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to keep my hands off it until after the fight.
Okay, sure. This is the last time you're going to
Once
touch
I-
it, man.
once I
it's a
earn it,
boomerang,
then
so it comes back.
Then I'll take it.
It's a boomerang, so it comes back.
We'll see.
So this is it.
We talked about game plans. You back your natural talent every time, but do you have a game plan as such?
You know, I'm searching and destroying. I'm going to go in there, and you know, the ring is my kitchen, and you're getting cooked. Seasoned, cooked, fried, sautéed, all of that.
You mightn't have the right ingredients, man.
I do.
I think you got the right ingredients. I think you got the right ingredients, Ralph.
I really do.
Okay. Boys, you just want to stand up so everyone at home can see you. I'll get to one side.
Just
there you
quickly on those odds,
But-
250 to 1. Where do we get that?
We'll tell you afterwards about that. Look down the camera there. Everyone can see you watching here live from YouTube space. So a week tomorrow then, these two gents, Chris Eubank Jr. and Reynold Quinlan, go to itvboxoffice.co.uk. You can register now. And on the undercard, David Price was with us last week in Preston. He's fighting Christian Hammer, of course, at heavyweight. Kid Galahad's back in the ring as well. And Adam Etch is also fighting. So that's a week tomorrow. Register now at www.itvboxoffice.co.uk. Thank you very much indeed.
It is the most important fight of my career. The training speaks for itself. I'm preparing for war.
He's the most exciting fighter in the world, and we're back home on ITV.